They've upgraded the offensive line. Odell is back. Saquon is there. It's new coaches. The one common element is that guy. The question is what we're seeing in the Giants offense Eli's problem?
He's a huge part of the problem, but there's still pressure. They have to understand what type of guy Eli is, though. Anytime he sees a flash in the pocket, he's a guy who accepts sacks. He's not pushing the ball down the field. You play the New Orleans Saints, and I was expecting fireworks. I was expecting Eli and Odell Beckham, Shepard, to light guys up. Anytime he had a one-on-one, he was throwing balls to guys like the other Shepard, who's not named Sterling. Eli Manning has to stay in the pocket and make throws down the field. He was basically playing keep away from the New Orleans Saints instead of trying to attack a team that's given up over 30 points a game, that's given up the most passing yards of anybody in this season. Eli Manning wasn't attacking those guys. Eli Manning wasn't standing in the pocket, facing pressure and pushing the ball down the field. And he has to be able to do that. Everybody has an amount of hits, right? When we start playing this game, there's only so many hits you have in your body, so many hits you're willing to take. I think Eli Manning has reached a point he's not willing to stand in there, Greeny. He's not willing to fight, and we're seeing that on game day for the New York Giants.
Part of that, and listen, I don't want to make excuses for the guy, but part of that is the offensive line, and even with the additions they've made, I mean, he has to get rid of the ball. Sometimes it feels like he is under siege immediately on practically every play, and even with Saquon Barkley, they're not really running the ball consistently.
Here's the thing. He absolutely is under siege, but there are times in the pocket where Eli Manning does have time, and he's seeing ghosts. He's not actually looking downfield. He's watching the rush. And when you get hit, when you get beat up, that tends to be a problem for quarterbacks. But when you're as seasoned, when you're as experienced as Eli Manning is, you have to understand that this is part of the position. And for this team to excel with all the weapons that they have around him, Eli Manning has to be better. Eli Manning has to be able to look into the face of the rush and make plays down the field, and he hasn't done that.
Look, the organization made a significant decision in the offseason. We've been over it a million times, not to rebuild around a new quarterback, but to try and win now with this. Is this reparable at 1-3 where they are this year? Can they still turn this season around?
I don't believe they can. I believe they can win games. You obviously have the pieces around Eli to produce points in certain games, but if there's going to be a rush, if they can't find an offensive line to protect him, you can't compete with this team. Eli Manning can't get this team to a Super Bowl. He can't have this team win the NFC East, and that's troubling for the New York Giants because you made a decision. You thought Eli had 2 or 3 more years, so instead of drafting one of these promising young rookie quarterbacks, you chose to go with Saquon Barkley, who is the best guy in the draft, but was he the best guy for your franchise going forward?
It's a question they haven't answered yet, but through a quarter of the season, it does not look good.